Hello whisky fans and welcome back. Today is December the 16th, which is the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. The day when in 1773 a bunch of colonists going by the name of the group of the Sons of Liberty dumped hundreds of crates of tea into Boston Harbour as a protest of the British government not paying attention to the colonists and forcing unfair prices and unfair taxation upon them. Bloody British. Anyway, the idea of a large faceless corporation enforcing unfair prices and ignoring the little guy sounds familiar, doesn't it? But enough of that. Let's get on. Today we've got dram number 16. Let's hope it's a good one. And if not, we can always throw it in the river. Label away. Let's get some in the glass. And away we go. Have our obligatory look at the colour. Doesn't always mean a lot, but mainly I think, and this probably goes for a lot of people, I like to see a pale whisky, and I really wish I could make that aware to all of the whisky producers. In this day and age of rampant colourant going into whisky, especially the mass-produced stuff, you're not impressing anyone. If anything, it's swung the other way these days. When we look at a whisky, when we see that it's dark, especially if it's got that orange tint, more often than not, it just makes us think that you're producing a crap product. And obviously I do feel sorry for the distilleries producing heavily sherried or very old whisky, because that habit of everyone colouring their whisky and making it look dark is harming you guys that are producing quality whisky. So really these days the only guarantee that we've got based on a colour of a whisky is if it's clear, then more often than not it's going to be an honest presentation, which sadly we haven't really got here. That's not the worst offender that we've seen, but it could be paler, but whether or not that's natural we will find out. So today's dram, December the 16th, we don't know what it is yet, but let's see how it smells. So first impression, very, very nice. Immediately I'm getting some greasy maltiness and some notes of like tea tannins and some just hard to describe but vague notes of a well-matured malt. Yeah, this definitely smells significantly better aged, and I'm not going to say better made than the rest of the whisky that we've had, because we've had some very well made things so far, but this smells like a well matured, well made Scotch single malt. Really nice greasiness, nice tannins, good age, a little bit of caramel, sweet and juicy fruitiness. So what casks do I think have gone into this one? It's nothing outlandish. I would say probably a combination of good bourbon casks and good medium sweetness sherry casks, something like an Oloroso. So very traditional and very artfully done. I think there's definitely a sherry presence in this one. I think that greasy malty note blends really well with a nice fruitiness, nice creamy fruitiness, a good sherry influence. But it's not excessively done. It blends very well with the base spirit and the maltiness. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah, very well done, very well made, possibly not quite as impressive as the nose. Really smells It's quite spectacular on the nose, to be honest. For a whisky that I'm assuming is reasonably priced, because most of these drams do seem to be, the nose really goes above and beyond what you'd expect for an affordable whisky. On the palate, you've got some more creamy sweetness, some well-aged malt, quite a nice floral aspect to the palate of this whisky. Creamy caramel, honey, good malt, some more of those tea tannins, a nice floral quality, but not just sweet floral quality, but cut flowers as well. Quite a slightly bitter, hard floral quality. As for the age and ABV on this one, I'm going to guess probably 12 to 14 years old. And the fact that the nose and the palate are fine on this one, they're very good, but I think the nose stands a little bit above what you get on the palate, so I'm going to go for probably 43%. So where could this be from? I do think it's Scotch, but I think that it could be from a lot of different places. It's that kind of slightly more ballsy, meaty, slightly more aggressive, slightly more challenging, but still reasonably stereotypical Speyside flavour profile. Good stuff though. I want to see what we've got. Let's have a look. It's another Tamdhu. So we had Tamdhu in the calendar last year, I believe, but last year I think we had the 15. This year we've got the 12-year-old. So it is 43%, which is what I'd guessed, and it's 12 years old, which is actually the bottom end of what I guessed. I actually thought it might be a little bit older than that. But that's a very respectable, decent, and as I said, I guess that it seemed to me like a slightly more challenging, meaty, slightly more assertive Speyside style, and I think that's what you get with Tamdhu. Tamdhu is Speyside single malt, but it's not just your sweet orchards, sort of honey, caramel, pear, apple. It's not all just that sweet sherry style. It's a little bit firmer and more challenging than that. What I am interested in is how much does this stuff sell for? Because last year I really liked the Tamdhu 15, but when I looked it up it was quite expensive, probably more than I would want to pay. So let's just have a quick little look and see how much a bottle of Tamdhu costs us these days. Bearing in mind it is only 43%, it's not a craft presentation. So Tamdhu 12-year-old, 43%. It's got 4.5 stars out of 5, so the whisky buying community seem to like it. Sells for £44 at the moment, whereas that 15-year-old sells for just under £80, which is expensive for a 15-year-old whisky in my opinion. But the 12-year-old, 43%, £44, I think that's about right. It would be nice if the ABV was a little bit higher. I think it would help the body a little bit, but I think really well made and interesting. It's got character, interesting characterful Speyside malt. 12 years old, 43%, £44 is about right. But saying that, I don't think that it's a bargain. I don't think you get any more than your money's worth. Let me know what you thought of this one if you've had it or if you're tasting along at home. See you tomorrow, and cheers.